I thought it would be fun if we did something with golf. I've tried golf a few times, and I've never been particularly enamored with it, primarily because it involves going outdoors.
Yeah.
For me, outdoors is that short distance between the front door and the car. But when you golf, golf is a strange game because, and by the way, the score is inversely proportional to the number of witnesses, I've been told. But golf is a game where the low score counts. And the object is you have to hit the ball, and as many times as it takes for you to hit the ball to persuade it to go into the hole, that's your score. And normally there are 9 or 18 holes that are played, and you tally up your score, and whoever has the lowest score wins, which is why golf pencils don't have erasers. And every hole has a value attached to it called par. And par is the number of times a really good golfer will take to hit the ball to get it into the hole. The rest of us shoot well above par. Some people are delighted to shoot their age. I'd be happy to shoot my weight. But every hole also, this is from a little 9-hole golf course, the Adobe Golf and Country Club. Every hole also lists its hole number and the number of yards between where you first hit the ball, called the tee, and where the hole is. And then the par, how many strokes it really should take a good golfer, and then the lines where you fill in your own score. I'd like to pass this down, the second row, I think 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, maybe up to the back row as well. And each of you please fill in any of the slots. It doesn't matter which, except for the bottom. Please don't fill in the bottom, that's for the total. But in any one, just write, please, a single digit from 1 through 9. And you can repeat a digit somebody else wrote. It doesn't have to be different. Anyway, just go ahead and write a single digit in one of the slots, and then pass it to the next person. And as you do that, I'll tell you one of the only clean golf stories I know. Man and his wife were out golfing, and he takes this shot right off the tee, and it hooks way over to the left and rolls up to but not quite past the out-of-bounds marker. And unfortunately, the out-of-bounds marker was misplaced. It was because inside the bounds marker was the greenskeeper's shack, and that shack was on a direct line between where his ball was lying and where it had to go. The guy's wife was with him, and she said, "Well, I see there's one way out of the situation," because he was about to take a penalty shot where you drop it over your shoulder, a couple of club lengths. I'm not sure how that works. And she said, "Look, darling, there's a door in that shack. I wonder if there's a door on the other side." She went around and, "Well, no, but there's this window. Look, I'll hold the window open. The door will stay open. Look, you can hit the shot right straight through. You can see the flag where it needs to go." So he lines up. It's a difficult shot going through a door, through a window. So he takes a lot of time lining up and getting ready to shoot. And just as he winds up to shoot, his wife, who's getting a little patient, sticks her head through the window. "Are you going to hit that thing or not?" Boom. Knocked her dead. It was a year before that man made it back to the golf course. And wouldn't you know it, as fate would have it, on the very same hole, the very same tee, he hits the very same shot. And it lines up right next to the greenskeeper's shack. And one of his foursomes said, "You know what you can do? You can open the door, you can open the window, you can make the shot." He said, "Forget that. Last time I tried that, I took an 8 on that hole." Thank you. Are you all done? Okay. Thank you. And thank you very much. Okay. All right, who was the sadist that gave me the 8? You? Thank you very much. You'll notice, by the way, that I have here, in the appropriate green color, in full view all this time, a prediction. You golf, right? Okay, would you please add up my scorecard and write the total in there at the bottom? Because I had a premonition in my mind before this event. I actually recorded what I thought a good score for this round might be. And the young gentleman has added it up, and the score is, it is 46, even with her 8. Well, isn't that amazing? Because in here, my prediction was that I would shoot a perfect 46. Hey. All right. Thank you. This is a piece of cake. First of all, it gives you an excuse to tell golf stories. Okay? I mean, golf stories are fun if you can find clean ones. And I have 2 other clean golf stories just in case the card takes a while getting around. Now what I did was I found in some computer clip art, I found this on a CD-ROM, and I just printed it out and then put it inside a page protector. Ooh, look, the numbers are moving. And then I write this in the pen that they use for overhead projectors. So I could just wipe it off and use a different total if I wanted to. Or if I was working for the same group again, you know, I mean, you don't want the same score all the time. But the workings on this is very, very simple and somewhat different than the way it was originally written up in SYZYGY, and somewhat the same. Here's what happens. There's 2 cards. And I switch. The other one's in here. This is the one you guys filled out. Now let me show you how this works. What I did, I discovered that this particular old beat-up green envelope will actually hold a card underneath the flap right there. Okay? Now what I did was I filled this card in with the numbers that would give me a total of 46. I did it in a special way. Let me read the numbers to you. 6, 4, 8, 2, 9, 1, 7, 3. You see, you want to make it as simple, because you're putting somebody under the gun. When you hand somebody something and say, here, do this, quick! Well, obviously, it's not the most comfortable thing in the world for those folks. So you want to make it as easy as possible. So they're broken out in sets of 10. 6, 4, 8, 2, 9, 1, 7, 3, and then finally a 6. Okay? That enables you, by the way, to cover all of the numbers. And by that I mean, when I go back in the audience and I pick out I get the card and I bring it back, I am looking for a number I can comment on. Like a 1 for a hole-in-one, or a 9, or an 8. Well, in this case, there was an 8. There was also a 9, oh no, it's a 3. Yeah, there was only an 8. So therefore, I made a comment. Who gave me the 8? Now, in a minute, he's going to be adding up the card. He's going to see an 8 on there also. That will cement with him, and also hopefully with the audience, the fact that it's the same card. Does that make sense? Okay? Now, here's the switch. The card goes in like this with the numbers showing, but if I turn it around, the numbers are away from you. Now, there's a reason for this. I want to remember which way it goes. You see, some people in the audience are topologically aware. And if you come out with a card that's facing the audience, and then turn this around, and it's still facing the audience, somebody might say, danger, warning, Will Robinson, danger, something's wrong. Okay? Or it may not just get to them subliminally, like, I ain't buying it. Okay? So therefore, when you go to do the switch, and I just used my shoulder bag, my big purse here, and I prop this right in front of it. You could put it in front of anything, okay? Anything on your table. Please don't make up a special little stand with stars on it and glitter. And then you're going to do the switch. You must remember that the numbers right now are facing away from the audience, so when I get set to switch, my numbers are facing away from the audience. Notice that I hold the card in my scissor fingers here, leaving my pinching fingers ready to grasp. So as I come over here to pick up this envelope, all that's going to happen is I open that hand and drop that and pick this up, all in one motion. Let me show you what it looks like at speed. It's just this. Look, here. The second thing I do is, now this is still stuck underneath there. You don't want to come out of this doing this. No movement, no motion, nothing. So what you need to do after you come out is to pull the envelope away from the card. Don't pull the card away from the envelope. We know that the eye follows the moving object. Okay? It's the same thing. Look, when, for example, you want to do without the catch-up, a top change with a deck of cards. It's exactly the same thing that's going on. If you're going to change the king, for example, you want to move the deck away so that you get the change. Okay? Yes, mentalists can do sleight of hand. But anyway, I know there are those who do it better. I don't care. Anyway, so after you've done your switch, pull the envelope, because that's where all the attention should be anyway. You've already had the total announced. No, you haven't either. That's right. I'm sorry. You're about to have it added up. But this is important. This is not. Does that make sense? Now he gets up to 46. You come out, you do your ta-da, and you're all done. This, are there any questions on? Oh, let me show you the other switch. And this is cool. You'll like this. After you have the card that you want to switch out, wait a minute, here it is right here. And this is one of the ways it was written up in the newsletter. But because this is an audience of magicians primarily, I didn't want to do it this way because it would have headed you down a path I didn't want you to go. Because I would have said to someone, I'd like for you to add this up, please. And I got a calculator here to help you. Yeah, okay. If you would, please, add what's on the card and hand it to him. And he'd open it up and he'd go ahead and add. Okay? This is a neat gaffus. You see, what I've done is I've mounted a calculator between the pages of its, like pages in a book, in a cover, okay? Then put Velcro sticky tabs, so when you close it, when you push it down, it stays closed. Then you take the card that adds up to 46 and put it on top of the calculator, on top of the keys, and you'll probably want something like a pin in there to keep it from closing shut on itself. But so what? You bring a calculator out of your pocket. Oh, there's a pen stuck to it. No big deal. Okay? Then what you do is, it takes a little acting. That's all. You say, this thing work? Oh, yeah, it's a solar calculator. Move into the light. It works much better. What am I doing? I'm pushing the back of the calculator. Nothing's happening. Okay? But you're convincing us, this thing work? Oh, yeah, cool. Okay. Here. Then when you hand it to him and you close it, it locks away the one card. He takes it, opens it up. There's the other one right on top. He adds it up. Bada boom, bada bing. You're finished. Okay? Now, one more method, and this was also one of the contributors' original ideas, and that is he had the calculator either in a pocket or on the table behind something and then did a switch, something like that. Okay? Where he has this, he goes in and comes out. If you're going to do that, please have something like a wooden block with a slot cut in it that will hold these two in position so you don't have to fumble. And then if you're using a briefcase or something like that, it's just a real quick reach in, grab, come right out, open up the calculator as if you're doing it, and you're set, okay? In other words, in Harry Lorraine's words, don't make a move out of it, okay? And just like the card guys, when they're about to do the hard move, they blink a little bit sometimes. I found, even though I've been doing this for ages and ages and ages, when it comes time to make the switch, I had the natural tendency to speed up just a little bit. And it was pointed out to me during a lecture, fortunately. So keep that in mind. The audience doesn't know what you do. They don't know where you're going. There is no reason to do anything other than proceed at a normal pace. Now, this particular piece of work was contributed to SYZYGY by a fellow who once owned the Philadelphia Magic Company. He was the founder of the Magicians Lecture Network, and his trade show work has included companies like Apple, IBM, and others. He provides a lecture of his own. His name is Danny Archer, and he called this Par for the Course. Did you like it? Thank you.